sur cette conférence donc sur le NoCode, l'AI, et puis après on va parler aussi d'accessibilité. Donc cette conf est présentée par Convertigo, donc nous sommes la société Convertigo, donc on va expliquer un peu ce qu'on est après. Et surtout notre partenaire Warren Walter qui aussi va être, disons, sur cette conférence-là. Et donc le but c'est bien le mariage des deux. Donc pour nous présenter, donc je m'appelle Olivier, je suis le patron, le fondateur de Convertigo. J'ai un rôle dans l'entreprise de management, mais je suis toujours très intéressé par la techno en fait. Je reste quand même toujours autour des produits et je m'intéresse beaucoup à ce qu'on fait dans ce domaine-là. Et donc Karine va se présenter un peu plus tard. D'accord, on est bien d'accord Karine? Okay, parfait, d'accord. Qui nous rejoint là-dessus aujourd'hui. Donc, alors je ne sais pas si le timer a bien démarré, donc voilà, donc 40, voilà, donc, voilà, super. Ok, c'est bon. Et donc sur cette conférence-là, donc nous allons essentiellement travailler sur deux parties. Et avant de commencer, on va présenter Convertigo, et on va voir qui on est, et pourquoi est-ce qu'on s'intéresse au no-code, et pourquoi est-ce qu'on s'intéresse à l'AI, et exactement ce qu'on est derrière là-dessus. Donc déjà, pour commencer, nous sommes une des, alors on a compté récemment, une des 850 plateformes low-code, no-code du marché. Ça en fait beaucoup. Voilà, donc tous les jours, il y en a 5 ou 6 qui sortent. Ça veut dire que c'est un marché en plein foisonnement, bah, tant mieux, c'est très bien. Parce que quand on a commencé, nous, le low-code et le no-code, c'était il y a 12 ans. Voilà. Et donc il y a 12 ans, on a expliqué aux gens que c'était très important le low-code, no-code, et on disait, bon écoutez, revenez un jour quand vous serez sérieux. Voilà, bon, donc on n'a quand même pas changé, on est resté toujours sérieux, mais par contre c'est l'opinion des gens qui a changé. En fait, c'est ça qui est vraiment tout à fait intéressant, c'est que il y a 12 ans personne ne s'intéressait à ça, et aujourd'hui tout le monde s'y intéresse. Donc nous sommes un des véritables précurseurs de cette technologie-là aujourd'hui. Et donc pourquoi est-ce que nous sommes un peu différents d'autres plateformes qui sont aujourd'hui sur le marché, de ces 850? Déjà, nous sommes une plateforme open source. Donc ça change tout. C'est que sur les plateformes no-code, low-code des open source, il n'y en a pas beaucoup. Il y en a, je ne sais pas compter combien, mais il y en a beaucoup moins déjà que 850. Nous sommes aussi une plateforme full stack. Ça aussi, ça change aussi parce que des plateformes qui font la base de données, des plateformes qui font du process, des plateformes qui font des écrans, il y en a plein, mais il y en a très peu qui font le stack complet. Ça veut dire en gros du front au back-end. Donc ça aussi, ça change. Et nous sommes une plateforme dite entreprise. Ça veut dire que on ne s'intéresse pas qu'aux startups et aux petites entreprises qui démarrent, qui veulent faire des petits POC et des petits projets. On s'intéresse aux véritables applications stratégiques qui vont travailler dans des très grosses entreprises, ce qui nous a donné notre lettre de noblesse. Ça veut dire on sait que ça a fonctionné sur des process stratégiques chez BNP, ben ça peut très bien fonctionner pour votre POC ou pour votre MVP ou pour votre prochaine startup, d'accord? Parce que c'est une technologie qui a été largement éprouvée par de très grands comptes, et notamment avec toutes les contraintes qu'ils ont, sécurité, performance, maintenabilité et tout ce qui vient derrière. Donc ça, c'est extrêmement important de comprendre d'où on vient. Et donc, ce qu'on va faire là-dessus, c'est essentiellement travailler sur deux types d'applications, des applications internes et externes. Je viens de m'apercevoir d'un petit détail, c'est que l'audience, je n'ai pas posé la question, est-ce que l'audience est plutôt francophone ou anglophone? English or just French? Oh, do we have external users too? Probably. So if you want, I can do this in English. If you, it's everybody for, okay, no problem. We're going to do this in English, no problem there. So just to say that as we are open source, full stack, no-code platform, so we can address one of the very important thing is the non-vendor lock-in, okay? That means if you take a platform and you make your software on it, what happens if just the platform changes pricing? Let's remember something that happened in one of the vendors, let's say, some months ago. Very famous vendor that changed their pricing model. So everything that was done on the platform was not usable anymore because it was too heavy. Cost was great, so you will not get out of the platform, okay? So open source is the only freedom you can have for that, okay? And that's why open source is really important in what you do in low-code and no-code platforms. Now, we deal with internal business apps, so applications that are inside the enterprise. For example, e-commerce or processors, field maintenance, or anything you can have in enterprise. But we can have also customer-facing apps for example, e-commerce or self-service portals or anything you would like to make some external B2C type of applications. The same platform can make both of those, okay? This is really important. Another point is that you will be able to host your applications or on the cloud. Well, this is important, of course. Everybody wants to do cloud today. But if you are a bank or, for example, a military or something or healthcare, probably you wouldn't like to put this on the bank, on the cloud. So you would like to put this on-prem, where you put this on your own data centers, where you know exactly what happens to your data, right? This is really important here. And this is where Convertigo comes there, because we can do this on-prem too. Okay, so this is the main difference with other platforms you can find on the market. Now, for that, we have published to web, to mobile, to everything, to PWA, everything you can need for publishing the application. So, of course, App4. And as we are an enterprise platform, the important part is the connectors. So building an application is great. Where do you get the data from? Is the data coming from your own database? Well, if you are a startup, this is okay, because you did not get the data yet. But if you are enterprise, the data, you already have it. It's coming from internal systems. You have already your databases. You have your ERP. You have your CRM. You have everything already. So what you like to do is to connect to this data. So again, that's what we have in Convertigo. So everything to connect there. So example, if you want to make some comparison with Convertigo with other vendors, let's say that Convertigo has the full stack from, for example, Airtable, database, Make, the process workflow, and Bubble, the front end. Anything in the same platform for the same pricing. And of course, don't have to buy 5 products different to do the same budget. Everything integrated in the same platform, okay? So this is where is Convertigo in a few words. So now we're going to focus on a part of the Convertigo platform where we are interested in the no-code stuff. So no coding is important for people that don't know anything about coding. Just, we call this citizens, people that just are like this, that can make some, let's say, some small applications and anything they want, but they don't have any coding skills. And this is why in the Convertigo platform, we have here the no-code studio. This is this very specialized studio that is on this platform for no-coders, okay? Others that are more professional will use the low-code studio instead. This one is for professionals. Much more complex, much more powerful, and requires more skills. But of course, you have the power of what you need, okay? That's the point. But the idea of the no-code studio is to build simple form-based applications with some business logic inside. And that's what we want to show you today. Now we have a very interesting way of saying that we should combine the no-code and AI. Why is this useful to combine this? Because this is the magic ticket. You have the magic ticket here, where you can have the speed, the reduced technical skills, and the ease of use of no-code. This is, everybody likes this. And you can also combine this with generative knowledge. Well, AI is great because AI knows a lot of things about processes. You know exactly about what should you use as fields for making a form, for example, for onboarding a new customer, okay? So this is something they know in UI because the machine learning did all the job about learning what are the important fields you need, okay? So we're going to use the skills and we're going to generate everything about data models that we need in the application behind, okay? And this is coming from there when we come to combine the no-code stuff and the AI stuff, okay? And this makes the winning ticket. Now, the idea is to use our new interface. So you have a little demo of this running there, okay? Where we're going to generate live. To do the demo, I'm going to make a live demo there. You know about live demos? You know what happens on live demos? They always fail, okay? Everybody knows that. So now I'm prepared for that, okay? But nevertheless, we're going to try to do this, okay? And well, we're going to create a new application for using AI. Just to let you know how this works. So we're going to use, of course, ChatGPT behind, okay? So we are, of course, connected with ChatGPT there. Now, the model is using ChatGPT 3.5. That's where we're connected to, okay? And we're going to use the prompt to ask ChatGPT to generate for us a data structure that will represent everything we need in our application. So all the fields, all the everything you need, all the data fields, all the input controls, even some layout that will be done with this. And why not decoration too? Because we need context, for example, images, nice colors, and everything we need. So AI will generate this for us, okay? So we in Convertigo will ask GPT to do the job. And now ChatGPT will bring us the data structure. That is what they do. Now we, in Convertigo, we're going to read this data structure. and to generate our no-code application during this data structures there. And this is what I'm going to show you to now. Okay. Okay. So that's the points there. So before doing this, I like to have some interactive sessions here. So you may have some questions before I start. Okay, that is demo. En français, si vous voulez. Ah, c'est très clair. D'accord. Ok, très bien. Ok, ben on y va alors. Let's do the demo, right? Okay, so let me just put this here. Okay, so you have, so this is the no-code interface of Convertigo here. So first thing we're going to do is to create a new, let's switch to English because as we are English-based. So here and there, we're going to switch to English. Okay, that's better. Okay, and then, okay, so AI form builder. Okay, that's what we are. So we would like to generate application. So let's make this interactive to see that it's not a fake demo. Please give me ideas of what we can create as an application, right? So remember that it's a form-based application, okay? It's not, don't ask us to generate an application to, for example, if I make some, to create Instagram. So this is a demo header. Ask us something about, onboarding or declaring something or doing something you would like in your enterprise. So I ask you for suggestions. Yes, please.
Since you've talked about onboarding, maybe could we create an onboarding workflow for insurance companies?
Okay, let's do this. Okay, very good idea. Perfect. So this is a prompt. Okay, so as an insurance company, I would like to create an onboarding form for new clients, customers, right? For customers, we have several insurance options, such as we have several options such as so car, ERD, what we can have, home and health, okay, health, okay. The form should ask also for information about the registrant. Bon, ok. Ouais, il va comprendre. Hein? Ouais, il va comprendre. Yeah, sure. Okay. Bon. Okay, so let's do it. Boom. So now the AI is doing the work. So just. No, I did 10 times today. 10 times, and it always worked. No, just today it will not. Okay, well, it did. Oh, okay, good, okay. So here's your form, all right? This is your application. So let's preview it, okay? So here it is. So this is your application. So this is enter name, what is your address? Then do you need car insurance? Do you need ERD insurance? Do you need home insurance? Do you need the health? Okay. So you need some registered application. So hey, passport, okay. So getter, your bail, gender, occupation, nationality. Okay, that's, for example, a form that we generated directly from there. Okay, that's there. Now this application is just like this. Let's publish it to make it live. Okay, so you can use it directly on your phones, right? So we're going to do this like that. So let's publish it. So I'm going to make things simple. I will just disable the authentication, okay? Because you have to register. This is a long time, so we don't want to see that. and we're going to publish and generate the form. So as you see, the form is building here. And if I go here to the published forms, well, this insurance onboarding is just being built. So now, you know what happens there? We just hire 2,000 Bengalis persons in India there, and they just coding this, right? So they code very fast. Okay. Okay, well, it's always long. Okay, it's done here, okay? So this is our application done, and now what you're going to do is to just flash this QR code, and please do. And should get the application running, okay? So this is just a demo, the one, so the server, the environment behind will not be able to handle all requests at the same time because it's very small license. So some of you will have it, some of you will not. This is normal. So I just want to tell you this, okay? Okay. 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 Of course, you will have to get Wi-Fi. If not, it will not work. At least. Okay. 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 So this is the general demo, and this is what we want to show with the AI. Okay. This is the first part of the demo. So now, when we finish this, then I will please ask Karine to come for the next part. Okay. And the next part will be about the accessibility, right? Okay. So let me just slideshow this again. And this is there, okay? So, Karine, this is for you. Please.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Karine. I've been an expert in e-accessibility for 4 years now, and I've joined Warren Walter since a month now, because they are very committed to making accessibility a priority and making the web more inclusive. So I'm sorry because my English is not as fluent as Olivier, but I hope you will understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure. Just take this out.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you. So, sorry, I will be a little bit reading my mobile because I have a few notes on there. So I'm here to talk about e-accessibility. E-accessibility is to provide access to information and digital functionalities for people with disabilities. What is digital functionalities? It can be like placing an order online or read an article or even check your bank account. So there's a few things that some people cannot do every day on the internet. So web accessibility means that websites, tools, and technologies are designed and developed so that people with disabilities can use them. And more specifically, people can perceive, understand, navigate, and interact with the web. And they can also contribute with the web because it's not only the user of a website that have to be able to use it, but even the people that are working on the websites. So there is many types of disability. So a disability can be visual, it can be physical, auditory, or cognitive. And a disability, like you can see on the picture, can be permanent, like someone who has only one arm. And if we stay in the physical area, the disability can also be temporary, with someone who has a broken arm, for example, but his or her arm will heal over time. And it can be situational, with someone holding a baby, and then it can use both arms. So, as you can see, everyone could be confronted to a disability moment in their life. So we have to understand that e-accessibility is not only for people with disability, but for everyone. It is comfort for everyone, but it is a necessity for people with disability. So, to audit the accessibility of a site or a service, we can use the WCAG, the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. That is the reference with a list of criteria to follow. And in France, we have the RGAA, the Référentiel Général d'Amélioration de l'Accessibilité, It means General Accessibility Improvement Reference Framework, and which is based on the WCAG, but presented as a list of 106 questions to audit and determine an accessibility rate. So, why is it important to do e-accessibility? First, it's a legal obligation. So, in some countries, you have to do it. And you have to know that nowadays, 90% of the websites are not accessible. iOS and Android mobile applications are also not accessible. And the application and software that you can use in a company are even less accessible. So there are many people with disabilities that can work because of that. You know that every day, more and more, there are many services, many procedures that you can do only on the internet. So it is very important that everyone can access these services. Sorry. So I will go back to the legal obligation because this legal obligation exists in many countries. It's not always the same, but it does exist and must be respected. And there is also a commercial aspect in a way that if your services that you provide is accessible, the client will be content, will be satisfied, and will bring even more customers. And it will spread positive communication about your company, about your services. And you have to know that disabled people are very active on the internet, so don't forget about that. And yes, they can use the internet. They have technologies to do that, and we will see that after. So you making your website and services accessible improve also the technical quality of your services, because you really have to think about that since the beginning of your project. So the fact that it have a better technical quality, it facilitates the maintenance, and it can enhance the user experience by the clarity of the content and the presentation. And the most important reason why it matters to me is because nowadays digital technology is a vector of exclusion for people with disability, and e-accessibility is to include these people so that they don't feel forgotten. So now I'd like to show you how a blind people goes on the internet. And here's the video of Jodie. She's a braille music transcriber at Vision Australia. Je crois que ça marche pas. Ah, c'est ça. On n'a pas le son.
Let's see if the sound works. So, okay. Oh, it should be.
No, there has to be something at some point.
Je sais pas pourquoi le son va pas.
Il faut brancher un truc, je pense.
Ah, ok. Sans le son.
Il y a une prise directe. C'est une prise directe, ça? Ça s'impose pas facilement, j'ose pas appuyer dessus.
Okay, wow.
La prise rentre pas.
No, it's not coming in. So, I think we will not mention ça. C'est une prise jack, mais normalement c'est un jack ici. Mais il rentre pas. Mais là, on peut forcer. On va
Il n'y a pas un truc dedans, mais c'est bizarre.
Oh, il y a une vidéo qui tourne. So sorry, there is no sound, but there are the subtitles on the video. So I'm sorry, you'll have to read. So here it's the comment of the screen reader, but you can hear it. She's talking about the screen reader, how she navigates through the page with the keyboard.
Just a question there to understand this. Screen readers, they're on every machine, right? Everybody can get a screen reader
Yes.
if you want disable. So you have to install it, for example, for Windows? How does
Yes,
this
there
work?
are screen readers that are free, like NVDA, and there are some screen readers that are not free,
Okay.
like JAWS. And they are also native on mobile.
Okay.
We have TalkBack on Android phones and VoiceOver on iOS.
Okay, so that means if the application is done with the guidelines,
Yes.
then you will be able to read this
Yes.
directly. Okay.
You'll be able to access all the information in your page.
Okay, that's important. Yeah. But usually, how does this work to make the application to be compatible? You have to develop it.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to add some attributes. You have to make an audit, so you are certain that the application is accessible for every type of disabilities.
Yeah. Okay. So every developer has to know that, right?
Yes.
Are you a no-code developer? Can you do this as a no-code developer? Question. Who guarantees that as a no-code developer, you're going to be developing an application that is RGAA compatible? Nothing. Except if you use a no-code platform that is RGAA. Except this, okay? You understand that as a no-code developer, you don't have a control totally on what you will generate. And this is the big issue there behind, okay? And this is where we go to the next steps there.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's,
I will pass the video.
Yeah, sure. That's where we go to the next steps there. Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So next step here, this way. 19. Yeah. C'est ça. Okay. Here.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So, sorry you couldn't see how Jody was navigating on the internet, but here are some examples of assistance technology that other people with disabilities can use to access the internet. So, for example, the first pictures on the left is a one-handed keyboard for people that have only one arm available. There are also trackers and virtual keyboards, like someone can navigate with the movement of his eyes. There are pointers like trackball, the third picture from the left. They can also navigate with their head. They can have push buttons, and they can have screen readers, like we were supposed to see. So as you can understand, I think the most restrictive disability remains visual impairment. Blind people who visit a website where the cookies pop up, for example, is not accessible by keyboard or screen readers, will not be able to access the content of the website at all. So here I would like to present to you some most common accessibility issues. So the first one that I often see on, 90% of the websites is the low contrast. So the low contrast is the contrast of the color of a text and his background. As you can see on this picture, there is atelier. Atelier is written in white color on a light background color. So it's not very readable and readable. And a person who is colorblind, for example, won't see this text. So it is very important to assure the contrast of your text for everyone to see. I often see also in some presentation or in reunions that people use yellow text on orange background, and it's not readable for everyone, for anyone. So the second most common accessibility issues is empty buttons and links. Here are some examples of code that are not accessible. So don't reproduce that. So button text or values are very important because they inform the user of the function in the button. If there is no text describing the functionality of the button, screen readers user will not know what the button does. And if a user doesn't know what a button is for, they cannot interact with this button. And if they do, by accident maybe, they might get unexpected or undesired results. So it is very important to know what is the functionality of a button for everyone. The third most common accessibility issues is the missing labels. So it's like the missing value in the buttons or the links, because here's the code. You can see an input type email. There is a placeholder with the value email, but a placeholder, maybe that will come as a shock to you, but a placeholder is not a label. So here we are supposed to have a title attribute or ARIA label attribute, ARIA labeled by, there are many options here, but none of them is there. So this input is not accessible for screen reader users. The fourth most common accessibility issue is the missing alternative text. So it's on the pictures that you can see on the website. Some pictures contain information, and if they don't have an alternative, this picture won't be giving this information to screen reader users. Like this example I made, there is a sentence with "I love New York," and the love is represented by a picture of a heart. And here we don't have an alternative for the heart, so the screen readers will only read I and Y. So we lose the information of the love. And the last most common accessibility issues is the missing document language. So we will see just after a little setup with a persona, but if you don't set the document language like in my example, the screen readers will not be able to determine what is the language of your page and can read the text in another accent, in another language, and the information can be lost in the translation. So these 5 most common accessibility issues are the one I see the most, but if you address already these 5, it would have a significant and positive impact on web accessibility. And by the way, I just saw the Nobody Summit website, and it has some accessibility issues that I just told you about. The one here? Yeah. But very few, so maybe we can work on them with them. So a little bit of other example of digital accessibility. So imagine a visually impaired person, because it's the most restrictive disability for going on the internet. A person is visiting a website in English. The font size is too small, so they want to zoom in, but they can't because the zoom has been blocked. Okay, so she thinks she'll use a screen reader to access the content, and she'll navigate with the keyboard. But the focus on interactive components is not visible. So that is a big issue in accessibility. And like we said before, the document language hasn't been declared. So the screen reader will read the page in English, but in French, with a French accent, like mine. So it's going to be very, very difficult to understand. So this person wants to send a message to the administrator of the website. So they they try to reach the form page, and when they can, they see that the fields don't have a title. So it's even more difficult to send a message, to contact them, to tell them that the website is not accessible for the person. And so that's why a little inaccessibility criteria can be complicated for people with disabilities. There are other examples like the videos that are not subtitled, because people who are audio impaired won't be able to access the information on the video, etc. There are a lot of criteria. So Olivier asked tout à l'heure, asked earlier, why must, no, it's the slide, the next slide. So why must NoCode be accessible? So everyone should be able to use the digital project. And by making NoCode platform accessible, every website or application made with NoCode will be accessible too. And everyone should be able to develop a project without using a single line of code, or almost. And this is to respond to the no-code philosophy. And third, it's to share a collective approach for inclusivity with all companies using no-code. And here, the the demo that can be shown. So what makes deployed application RGDSA compliant? So Warren Walter was involved in making Convertigo's no-code component accessible, and that's why Olivier asked the question earlier. And we made 3 audits with Convertigo. There were 2 months of work to make the components of Convertigo accessible. And the result is over 75% of RGAA compliance. So they're not 100% compliance today, but I hope they will be. And like he said before, if you use components that are accessible, you will have an application that is accessible.
Just a question about 75%,
Yeah.
to be sure. How many applications did you see who goes to 100% today?
I didn't work with you, but Mathieu did.
Yeah, how much? How many applications did you see? 0? Okay, that's right. Okay, so, okay, that's okay for that, okay. So yeah, 75 is the limit that is currently accepted, right? If I understand, in type of public administrations or big companies, big enterprises, it's currently, let's say, tolerated, right?
Yeah, tolerated is the word, because for me, it should be 100, because like I say in an example before, if you are blocked in the first 1% of the website, you can go anywhere, even if it's 75% compliant.
Well, we did test this, if I remember. Yeah, we did test this. Okay, this is one of the things that we did there. So you understand that if you use a local platform, if you don't check the RG2A type of checkings, well, you probably will do an illegal type of application. So please be careful by choosing your platform, and use platforms that are being checked with RG2A, like, for example, Warren Walter, and use a platform that knows about this. That's just the, let's say, what you could do this. Yeah.
I think there is a question here.
A question there? Yeah. Yeah, well,
know a lot of extra stuff to produce accessible code.
well
And okay, so if you are a regular developer, you have to do a lot of extra steps to produce accessible code.
for example, everything that told
And,
Corinne about. Yeah.
So you produced accessible components. Is it like auto-magic accessibility, or you have to configure stuff? What is the effort I have to do as a no-code developer?
If you are a no-coder using the NoCode Studio of Convertigo, every component you're going to bring in your page will be checked to be RG2A compliant. So you don't even have to think about this. It will be completely automatic. Because our components will provide everything about readability. For example, these, for technical stuff, we call this ARIA labels. That will be done automatically by the no-code platform, okay? Probably with other platforms, you could add by hand these ARIA labels. Probably. I don't know, many platforms on the market. I told you, wait, 850 today. Probably you will be able to do this. But at least with Convertigo, just doing your platform, doing application, you will have automatically everything you need.
And is it also available in the low-code studio?
Alors, in the low-code studio, components are less RG2A, but you can style them to be, okay? And this is still work we have to do. Yeah, I have to know that. We still have to do work on the no-code. Something you probably don't know about the no-code studio of Convertigo is the no-code studio of Convertigo is built using the low-code part of Convertigo. So we use our own technology to build the no-code studio. So just to then, if we manage to create a no-code studio that is 75% compatible, that you can even do it low-code, okay? This is a proof that it works this way. So if you don't have any other questions. We were sorry for the demos about the videos there.
Yeah, there was supposed to be another video of the Convertigo app, so with a screen reader, but
so
we
that
don't
you
have.
checked. So it was the results of
we
the
don't
check.
have access.
Yeah, okay, well, okay, so we're going to publish this. So thank you very much for
thank
attending.
Thank you very much.
And thank you.
Thank you, Olivier.
And before you go, you're all invited to go to the closing ceremony, which takes place in the main stage. You know where it is? Yeah? Thank you.